Just like to read a headline because
Mm-hmm.
it's vaguely familiar of 2012.
Hmm.
HP plans to acquire assets from Humane for $116 million. Humane's AI pen business will be wound down. Sounds a lot like Palm.
Yep. They have a rich history of buying stuff with potential, burying it behind the sun or something, and never seeing it again.
They could shove it sideways into a printer.
Yeah. They're going to use AI to figure out how to make you pay more for ink.
Don't give them ideas. That's
Oh, man.
yeah, yep. Anyway, I think a lot of it saw that coming. I think Rabbit's probably next. That other little gadget AI thing that.
Yeah. These useless temporary things that nobody wanted or asked for or ever used. Those things.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yep. Who's gonna buy them? Who's left? Lenovo. It could be Oracle will probably buy them because that would be not.
Yeah. The black hole of personal technology.
Yeah. Well, the other fun thing you can look forward to is Intel being shattered on the concrete floor and sold to 7 different companies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a child grabbing a Christmas ornament and just throwing it at the ground. See what comes out.
I mean, there's there's probably more than 3 companies in there. There's the GPU business. There's the
Yeah,
traditional
there's a
chip
bunch of
business.
little ones, but I think the yeah, like I feel like that stuff has to be kind of spun off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Although I suppose if you're gonna break them up, maybe that's not true. But you tend to think of Intel as the chip design business and then the foundry. Although I don't know, this was pretty obvious up front when things started going south for Intel. It was like, I think the chip design part's the tiny part that nobody cares about really anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Sadly,
nobody's looking at the wall and saying, you know what, x86.
it's the
That's
future.
that's the future.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I'm literally rereading this stuff right around the time of the Gates book came out, and I wrote, an article based on that
Mm-hmm.
history or whatever. I've gone back, so I've been rereading some of these older books I'd read, a million years ago, like the book called Gates by like Stephen Manis and whoever else, and there's a Paul Andrews book, I think his name is Hard Drive. About the early days
Yeah.
of this, the industry, Microsoft, et cetera. And from the moment that IBM chose the 8088, which was an even more compromised version of whatever, the 8086, the problem was this segmented memory thing. And it was like, yeah, but it can, it can,
Mm.
you can do like, megabyte, I think it was, of RAM, theoretically. It's like, yeah, but you get, it just set us on this garbage path, that we just, this is like, this train we need to jump off this train. It's God, dude, it's been like, what is that? That's over 40 years ago.
Yep.
It's crazy. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, well. I always thought Intel, I actually thought AMD would do it first. They still could, I suppose, but I thought there was going to be a shift even from the x86 guys to ARM, I still think that, it could happen or whatever, but the closest we've gotten is just, what you see in software too, where they've sort of introduced some ideas from the ARM world, to help solve some or try to solve some of the, performance, efficiency, whatever stuff. But I just think it's just, I don't know. You're starting from a really garbage place. It's too bad.
You think Intel's got a skunk works team who's got ARM chips over there? I bet they do.
Maybe, but they were an ARM licensee until, you could look it up. I don't remember what year they actually dropped their ARM license at some point. They used to, Xscale was their thing. Remember they had the Xscale processors? I believe those were ARM based. I don't know. It's bizarre to me. Intel obviously has some of the best engineers in the world, and it doesn't make sense to me that they've been so stuck, just unable to move, into this world like efficiently. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why they, And at this point, I mean, who knows what they have? I don't even know. I think there's real complexity going on there that would make it difficult from anyone from the outside to come in and be like, what is happening here? Like, I don't know.
Right. They need to go
I
buy
don't,
another Israeli company that has some sort of innovative breakthrough, and then
that's the thing, right? I mean, so, yeah, right. I mean, AMD innovated on the X64 thing, innovated. I don't know if that's the right word, but okay, innovated, we'll call it, we'll extended the life of this thing. Actually, we could just blame AMD for this. Anyway, brought x86 into the 64-bit world. So that was embarrassing. But they had, they adopted it basically, Intel. And then, yeah, they were bailed out by, I don't even know the name of the company. What was it called? The guys that made the core processors.
oh, I can't even.
Yeah,
I
it
know who you're
doesn't.
talking about, but
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, who's going to bail them out now? I mean, left to their own devices, Intel makes things like the Itanium, which I guess we could also blame HP for, but whatever. I don't know. Here we are. It's been a long time.
yeah. Remember when
Yeah.
HP had that iPod too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Carly Fiorina. Remember, she showed off it was like a light blue version of whatever the iPod was at the time. And we're gonna get this. I was at an event when this happened, and I remember asking the guys from HP and Microsoft. So this is a hard thing to remember, but like back in the day, this would have been the very early 2000s. Apple had this iPod thing, and it was AAC at a time when that was just unusual, but it was also their DRM. And Microsoft had their own thing, WMA Pro, whatever. But they had DRM as well for their stores and everything. And the way they were talking about it was like, okay, but how are you gonna? I'm in the Windows world, so Apple doesn't support this. You gonna support this? And they were like, oh yeah, absolutely. Never happened. Also, light blue never happened. All they got to do was ship the thing that Apple made. I think maybe there was like an HP logo stamped on the back.
But it was like in number 2 pencil, where Apple's was like stamped.
Oh yeah, no, just the oil from your skin would have gotten rid of it.
They were actually put on the back of the plane when they were being flown over. Just 3 people sitting back there, just hand drawing the HP logos on.
Which is the same system they use like if you're at the beach in Barcelona and people are like putting out the fake Ray-Bans, and the guys are putting the little stickers on the glasses so it looks like the real ones. And when my son bought one of these, we knew they were fake. It was fine, but like because they were super cheap. But and they look great, but they were called Roy bombs. Like instead of Ray-Bans, they were Roy bombs.
Well, we'll just call it first wrong daily.
Yep. HP iPod was the Roy bomb.